Hey everyone, Gen 3D Tech here. Today we're going to be checking out a mouse pad from our brand new company called Super Being Lab. The name of the pad is the Momento Pad. This is their first pad and it's a balance pad, and I've definitely enjoyed my time with it. And I think you're really going to enjoy this review, so stick around and let's get into it. And to start off at first, I'd like to thank Super Beings Lab for providing this review sample for my evaluation of this review. It's always appreciated, but like I always say, my opinions are my own, and yeah, it's not going to affect me one way or another. Now, this mouse pad, to first start off with, it's a balance pad. It does have a nice texture to it. It's not super rough, but you can definitely feel the texture. But I don't find it abrasive to the skin or unpleasant. And of course, you can see it has a nice abstract design on it, which I think is very tasteful. And then it has a standard rubber base, but it doesn't move whatsoever, so base is nice. And as you can see, the stitching, it's pretty decent. It is rather thick, but it's nice and tight. I don't have any complaints about it. And it's 4 millimeters thick, and you can see that the stitching does go above the pad instead of below it. Being below it would have been preferable, because you definitely can feel the stitching edge when your mouse goes over it. But the size of the pad is 480 by 400 millimeters, which isn't huge, but it's not small. So it's a good size pad, and for most people, it's going to be plenty big enough to do all their flicks and everything and not go off the edge of the pad. The logo also doesn't stick out or anything. It's actually part of the design. So I definitely like logos like this because it's not going to rub off. Now, this pad is described as a balance pad, and it's definitely a control pad, I would say, but it's definitely on the faster side of a control pad. So it's definitely not like a GameSense Radar, which is, I would say, on the slow side of control, and then a Saturn, which is right in the middle, and then this pad is a very fast control pad. It's definitely, as you can see, got some speed to it, but it still has stopping power. And when doing micro adjustments, it feels really nice. It maintains decent control, but still gives you enough speed that I think it'll satisfy most people who use this pad. I think this pad has mass appeal, and it'll work with just about any game. It's great for Overwatch, tac shooters like Valorant and CSGO. It's just a good overall pad. Now, currently, this pad is $40 if you're to purchase it. I do think that is maybe just a tad high when you compare it to other pads. However, it is a good quality pad, and I definitely think if you pay $40 for this, you're getting your money's worth. But there are some other pads that are a little bit cheaper that can give you a similar performance. For example, like the original Venus pad would be a kind of a similar performing pad, and I think you can get that one for either $30 or $35. The Pro version of the Venus, of course, is $50 or $55 depending on what size you get. And of course, also you can get pads bigger than this. There's artisan size and 500 by 500, 540 by 540. But I do actually like this size as 480 by 400. Fits on my desk perfectly. So for me, I prefer pads this size. But I know people like also bigger pads. In the future, I would like to see a version of this pad with a different base, something similar to a pour-on base or something in that vein, just a little bit more premium base, and just maybe some options with a little bit more squish to it. This is a pretty firm pad. I definitely say it's mid for sure, but it does have a little bit of give to it, but it's definitely a mid. And of course, I would like to see the stitching improved a little bit. And I think if he did that, increase the size a little bit, gave it a better base, better stitching, then he could sell this pad for $50, no problem. Now, I've been using this pad for several weeks, and I've definitely enjoyed my time with this pad. It's become one of my more favorite pads, and I also like the look of it, and I think it's a good looking pad. PTFE feet work really well on this pad. And then glass feet. It's not a slow pad for glass feet, that's for sure. But you can still feel a nice bit of tug on your glass feet to where you can maintain control. So if you are a glass feet user and you want a control balance type pad, then this pad might be a good option for you. So this is the Opponage Precision pad, which does have very similar speed, but I would say that the Memento pad has a little bit more control. And is also a better quality pad. The stitching on this isn't the best, but the surfaces are fairly similar. Now, this pad is also a little bit smaller, but they're pretty close. You can get this pad for about $20, but I have heard about some durability concerns about the Opponage Precision pads. As far as durability of this pad, I don't have any inclination that this is going to fall apart or anything. So far, it seems like a very well-built pad, and I think it will last quite a while. It's also very easy to clean. Things like hair and dust don't really stick well to it. They brush off really easily. So if you got pets, this is not a bad pad to have for sure. Now we'll go do a little bit of water test just to kind of test humidity resistance. Now as you can see, it does absorb a little bit of water, but it does a pretty good job of resisting soaking in the water. And the surface doesn't really get affected by the water, so I would definitely think this is a good pad for humid areas. And again, game performance wise, I performed really well with this pad, especially in Overwatch, where it's a very fast paced game. I had a really good time with this pad, and it's definitely one I'll keep using. And I can definitely recommend this pad, even at $40. But if that's too much for you, then I mean, there are other pads that you can look at. But I do think at $40 you're getting a good pad. But I do understand people that would criticize that as being a little too expensive for what you get. But that's the beauty of the free market. There's lots of other choices, so you don't have to buy this pad if you think it's too expensive. And if it doesn't sell well, then I'm sure he'll have to lower the price. But again, like I said, I definitely recommend this pad, and I think it is worth $40, but I can totally understand why you might not think that it is. So anyways, if you're looking for a good balance pad that's, you know, got a nice design, that's got some texture to it, some tug, but yet still has enough speed for any kind of game that you want to throw at it, you're just looking for just a good all-around pad and you just want to have one pad, then this is definitely a good option. That's about all I got for this review. If you found it informative and you enjoyed it, then please leave a like. And if you haven't subbed, go ahead. If not, no big deal. But I do got lots more reviews coming. Probably going to do the Odin Andromeda pad next. And I have a bunch of mice reviews, like this one right here, which is the Darmio Shark N3. It's a very interesting mouse. There's the black one right there. 58 grams, 59 grams, 33.95 sensor, KL 8.0, and it's $65.99 plus shipping, but it's a pretty good deal for the money. Very good build quality, and technically it's a an Argo mouse, but it's kind of like a cross between an Argo and a symmetrical mouse. It's very interesting shape. But anyways, I'm very excited about the review for this. So definitely keep a look on it. I'll probably have that out this weekend. Just want to give you a little bit of a preview. But anyways, again, thanks for coming, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.